This film is about adjustment of the noseband. When riding a horse wearing a bridle, the noseband supports a stable rein contact, which is one component of being on the bit in a connected and comfortable manner. When communicating with the horse through the reins, the noseband should prevent the horse from avoiding contact with the bit by opening the mouth too widely. A noseband, adjusted with sufficient laxity, supports the education and correct training of the horse. If the horse opens his mouth, the noseband tightens, but as soon as the horse closes his mouth, the pressure is released. This is a form of negative reinforcement that teaches the horse not to open his mouth widely. Some types of nosebands also help to hold the bit in the correct place in the horse's mouth. Therefore, it is an advantage for many horses to wear a correctly adjusted noseband when ridden. However, a noseband that is too tight affects the horse's ability to mouth the bit using small movements of the temporomandibular joint. Freedom to move the TMJ is an essential component of correct biomechanical movement through the horse's entire body during stretching, collection, and bending. A very tight noseband applies considerable pressure to the bones of the skull and to the nerves and blood vessels that run across the face. A significant problem associated with using a tight noseband is that it impairs the horse's freedom of movement, which is detrimental to the overall welfare of the horse. A noseband should be adjusted to be reasonably snug. It must lie flat against the nasal bone, but should not be so tight that it indents the skin or prevents movement of the TMJ. A survey performed by the Danish Equestrian Federation recorded the types of equipment and tags used for more than 3,000 horses and riders in the disciplines of dressage, show jumping, eventing, and endurance. Associations were made between the type of equipment used and the presence of lesions at the corners of the lips and on the sides of the horses. One of the important findings of this study was that oral lesions were correlated with tightness of the noseband. Tighter nosebands were associated with more oral lesions. The relationship between tight nosebands and the presence of oral lesions was found in all 4 equestrian disciplines and at all levels of competition. But dressage horses had a higher incidence of oral lesions than horses competing in the other sports. Another finding is that nosebands were tighter and there were correspondingly more oral lesions in horses competing at higher levels than in those competing at lower levels of competition. Given this information, the Danish Equestrian Federation decided to impose a rule for the tightness of the noseband during competitions. When competing under the rules of the Danish Equestrian Federation, the noseband must be adjusted to allow a minimum separation of 1.5 centimeters between the horse's nasal bone and the noseband. The rule applies to all disciplines, at all levels, and for all types of nosebands. If the noseband is padded or there are loose pads, there should still be room for 1.5 centimeter. It is the rider's responsibility to adjust the noseband correctly. If the rider is in any doubt, they are encouraged to contact the Danish Equestrian Federation and clarify their concerns before starting the competition. The video shows how noseband tightness is measured at the Danish Equestrian Federation competitions. Measurements are always made perpendicular to the noseband in the center of the nasal bones. The survey showed that most riders already adjust the noseband correctly according to the Danish Equestrian Federation's new noseband rule.
Hej. Jeg vil vil gerne have lov til at måle, hvor stramt dit næsebånd er, fordi det er sådan en ny regel, der er lavet her på 1. januar. Er det ok?
Ja.
Ved du, hvordan man gør?
Ja.
Nå, det har du helt styr på. Det var dejligt. Jeg kan jo se, at der er masser af plads. I princippet skal man jo kun måle med fingrene, og der kan jeg jo se, at der er masser af plads. Og også på siderne. Men vi tager også lige pinden her på, for at se, at der er rigeligt med plads. Det var meget fint. Jeg siger tak.